Most of the state governments or some of the state governments, they have given free electricity to its citizens, to consumers. How it is impacting the discoms?
The constitution inherently prescribes for the state to develop UCC for the entire country. However, certain sections have their reservations with regards to the formulation and implementation of this law. How can we address these grievances?
So you're from Udham Singh Nagar, right? Can you tell me something about Sardar Udham Singh? Who was he?
May I come in, sir?
Yes, come in.
Good morning, sir. Good morning.
Good morning. Please be seated.
Thank you, sir.
Please give a brief introduction about yourself.
So my name is Shambhavi Tiwari. I come from Kitcha, Uttarakhand. I have completed my schooling from Campus School Pantnagar and thereafter completed my graduation in Bachelor's of Technology, Electrical Engineering from Govind Ballabh Pant, University of Agriculture and Technology, Pantnagar in Electrical Engineering. This is my third attempt at CSE and first mains and first interview. My hobbies include crafting intricate lipin art and doing organic and eco-friendly kitchen garden.
Okay. Shambhavi, you are basically an electrical engineer. Why should an electrical engineer opt for a subject like anthropology?
Yes, sir. So it was during the coursework of NSS in my college itself. There were many tribal groups as well as community from various religious sects. So I interacted with them on the field and I found that the subject of anthropology is very interesting and I had to pursue civil services. So I thought that this subject would engulf my interest for a longer period of time and would also help me to crack the civil services.
But then you have studied electrical engineering for 4 long years. That didn't instill confidence in you?
Yes, sir. No, sir, it is not like that. But I found anthropology much later after electrical engineering and it engulfed my interest more than an electrical.
Okay. Let us discuss something of the problems our discoms are facing in the country. There are 3 areas: generation is there, transmission is there, distribution is there. In all the 3 areas, what exact problems, pan-India wise, I'm not picking up any state. So generally, what problems these discoms are facing? Just 1 or 2 problems in each area.
Sir, I'll start from the downstream point of view. First, at the consumer, we have the commercial losses that the discoms are facing. First is the non-payment of the dues, and the other is the losses that the discoms incur while providing subsidized electricity. And this happens all across the country, not specific to any state. The other is the transmission losses that is faced in the second stream of the electricity transmission and distribution. And these are mainly due to losses in the conductor, heat losses in the conductor, and there are other also voltage drop losses. These can be, these are termed as a technical losses, and there are also losses in the generation part, which includes the hysteresis, eddy current, and the core losses. These can be reduced by proper technological upgradation, both at all the levels of the generation, transmission, and distribution, and the capacity building of the discoms so as to collect the revenues of the electricity transmission and distribution that they are doing in an efficient manner.
Most of the state governments or some of the state governments, they have given free electricity to its citizens, to consumers. How it is impacting the discoms?
So first of all, the subsidized electricity is provided especially to the low consumer end and especially to the agricultural people engaged in the agricultural. So as to offset this loss, the electricity is provided at a relatively higher cost to the industrial and the commercial establishment. This creates a problem for the recovery of the losses for the discoms, as they are not able to get the dues and the right amount of electricity charge that they need to charge from the consumer itself. And the other is it also hampers the growth of the MSME industries, because electricity is one of the important component of industrialization, especially of the growth of MSMEs. So this also creates a double impact on the negative impact on the manufacturing sector of the economy as well.
What do you mean by energy security and how it is different from energy independence?
So energy security could be implied as having electricity maximum of the time. We cannot say in the context of India 24/7. And we have a reliable, affordable and accessible power of source of electricity. And so the energy independence, that we can say that we have become self-reliant in the energy generation, transmission as well as distribution.
One term which we have been hearing for the last 1 or 2 years, couple of years, is just energy transition partnership. Have you heard about this concept?
So it was a concept that was initiated in one of the climate conventions itself. It is mostly related to the de-induction and the to dephase the coal from the electricity generation sector and moving towards more renewable and environmental friendly sources of energy, like the non-conventional sources including the solar energy, wind energy, hydro energy and the biomass energy.
Is India a partner to this partnership?
Sir, I am not aware of that.
You are not aware. Okay, thank you.
Shambhavi.
Good morning.
Good morning. You have keen interest in anthropology, as I could infer from your answers. So, as anthropology, it largely deals with the indigenous people as well. So, tell me that how is this 72,000 crore project which is coming up in Nicobar Islands, how it is going to affect the indigenous people?
So this, ma'am, the 72,000 crore project that we have in the Andaman, especially in the Nicobar region, it affects the biodiversity as well as the tribal and the indigenous population over there. We have the Shompen community, which is one of the particularly vulnerable tribal groups that are living in the region of Campbell and Galathea part of the Andaman Nicobar. So this project would be displacing those people, and displacement for a project of national interest, as it has been notified, it causes problems of rehabilitation, resettlement of those tribal people, and also hampers their culture and the civilization.
So do you think that these PVTGs could be rehabilitated? Are they so much open?
Ma'am, there are various schemes of the government which provides the basic schemes of 9 ministries of the government of India under the PM Janman initiative, especially for the particularly vulnerable tribal groups. Though they are quite close in their orientation with the outer world, but with proper help of the tribal anthropologists and also of adopting the principle of tribal Panchsheel, we can integrate and rehabilitate them in some other places, keeping in mind that their culture and custom civilization we do not hamper and let them maintain their intact nature.
Okay. How is this global warming affecting indigenous people and the forest dwellers?
Ma'am, global warming is also one of the effects of the climate change. So the tribals that are affected or that are dependent directly upon the forest and its products for their dependence and livelihood, they are facing a problem fulfilling their requirements. And apart from that, they inhabit the regions of Andaman and Nicobar like the Sentinelese, and if there is any sort of sea level rise due to global warming, they would be the first to bear the impact of that. And they have not that much of the capability to rehabilitate and resettle and have climate justice by themselves. So the government should take adequate measures in order to provide them climate justice.
So is government taking such adequate measures?
Ma'am, the Supreme Court of India has ruled that climate justice comes under Article 14 and 21. So the government is working level best through the schemes such as PM Janman and PVTG developmental mission to maintain that these tribal groups do not face the negative impacts of climate change, and they have contributed the least to the climate change, so they should not bear the brunt of it at the forefront.
Okay. Shambhavi, I'm really keen to know that how this Genome India database, which has been recently hosted, how it is going to benefit us and what are the various sectors where it can actually leave its imprint?
Ma'am, earlier we had the Human Genome Project, and that was funded by US and the other countries. We have specifically the Genome India project. It deals with the genomic database of the country of India. India being such a diverse country, ranging from people from the tribal background to the mainstream itself, and it has the data of around 83 types of communities. So this would enhance the capability of the Indian Biological Data Center and to hold such amount of data, promote the genetic research in the field, enhance the personalized drug delivery creation, and would also lead to better treatment and disease surveillance amongst the people, so that we can have a better personalized medicine in the system.
Would it somewhere lead to breach of privacy as well?
For that we have the Data Protection Act that we are considering as of now, and the government has been working hard to achieve that the privacy as well as the scientific knowledge and the domain in genetic database. Both go hand in hand.
My final question to you, Shambhavi. Recently, Uttarakhand government is emphasizing on winter Char Dham circuit. So, how much it is relevant and what exactly it is?
Ma'am, we have the Chota Char Dham in the state of Uttarakhand itself, and around 54 lakh tourist footfall come over there in the months
But
of...
it's a very new thing for people,
Yes,
common
ma'am.
people. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. And those Chota Char Dham in the summer months, those sites are not accessible in the winter. So all of the Char Dham deities, they are brought into the lower reaches of the state. And those seats, those 4 seats, the Uttarakhand government is promoting as a Char Dham in the winter Char Dham project to increase the footfall in the state of Uttarakhand, especially as the religious tourism in the months of winter, so that the tourism economy do not suffer. It has both impacts of positive and negative, but a sustainable approach would help in the development of economy as well as the preservation of the pristine ecology of Uttarakhand.
Why is this religious tourism too much into vogue?
Ma'am, India being a land of birthplace of so many religion and spiritual theories, I think it has been inbuilt in the culture and the ethos of the people of India. So I think that is the reason that people of India are very interested in pursuing religious tourism, and it also gives them a piece of mental peace and satisfaction.
Okay, fine. Thank you, Shambhavi. So,
Shambhavi, you come from the vibrant yet very fragile state of the Uttarakhand, and this state is prone to a lot of natural hazards which can turn into a disaster any moment. And a very recent study and findings indicate that there are developments related to glacial lakes in the state. So first of all, tell me what is a glacial lake and how is it formed?
So in the state of Uttarakhand itself, we have 13 glacial lakes as outlined by the Himalayan Research Institute. And these are the lakes, these are the glaciofluvial landforms, and they are found by the deposition of water either at the end of the glacier or below the glacier or in between the glacier masses. And these are the depositional features leading with the moraines acting as a bund and
so why these
water.
Geographical features are referred to as ticking time bombs or water bombs?
So these geographical features, they do not have the much stability, but in the state of Uttarakhand and other hilly state, they are labeled as ticking time bomb because Uttarakhand is located at many seismic faults, and any sort of earthquake and any seismic activity could destabilize these lakes and could cause a lot of hazard, as we have seen in the Kedarnath floods of 2013.
Okay. The studies also indicate that anthropogenic reasons are also responsible for the formation of such lakes. Can you relate?
So one of the reasons that I can relate is the climate change, global warming, especially with the emissions. It has
something more immediate.
Sorry, I'm not
aware.
Okay,
so it is suggested that the developmental activities and the construction activities cause frequent landslides in the hilly state, which often results into the accumulation of water and formation of these lakes. So in the light of these findings, and on the other hand, the state government and the government of India are pushing hard for infrastructural reforms in the state. Where do you see the future of state heading to?
So as I mentioned that Uttarakhand has a very sensitive geographical location as well as fragile environment itself. So these development projects, though they are necessary for the economic as well as the overall development of the state, but there has to be proper environmental impact assessment and also the social impact assessment so that the communities living over there, they are also not hampered. A balanced approach, there is no development versus environment debate, as the High Court of Uttarakhand highlighted. We have to maintain the development and the environment side by side, maintaining the pristine ecology as well as keeping in mind the Viksit Bharat ideology.
So the state also boasts of unique floral and faunal diversity. There were certain amendments that were recently made to the Forest Conservation Act, and the states, particularly the border states, have registered some reservations with regards to certain provisions of the amendment.
Sorry sir, I am not aware of.
Okay, no problem. Uttarakhand uniquely is also the first state to implement the Uniform Civil Code in our country. You come from the state, so how has the implementation been in the state?
So as of now, the UCC has not come into implementation because the proper capacity building, training centers and the capacity building of the prosecutors as well as the forces that are involved in the state is being done by under the behest of the government of Uttarakhand. This is to ensure that the smooth implementation happens from multiple personal laws that we have in the country to a unified law that we have in the state of Uttarakhand.
Okay. The constitution inherently prescribes for the state to develop UCC for the entire country. However, certain sections have their reservations with regards to the formulation and implementation of this law. How can we address these grievances?
So first of all, I think there should not be a unilateral implementation of UCC without consulting the different stakeholders in the scenario. We should have a proper discussion with the stakeholders, and along with that, we should also have legal experts on the table so that they can have proper legal advice, and they should know that their religion and the practices that they follow, they are not under harm. We have to address the concern of the minority in the country as well, because democracy needs to uphold the rights of the minority in the forefront. Apart from that, we can have the religious leaders from various community engaging in the information, education and communication so that a proper dialogue and implementation happens.
Leading with the same discussion that we are having, UCC is often labeled as a religious piece of legislation. Can you examine this legislation from gender parity perspective?
So, it is a legislation that would provide gender justice, first of all. Keeping aside the religious connotations of it, it would provide the women the right to property as well as the right to have maintenance after divorce, irrespective of the religion that they are in, and also it would provide the more autonomy and rights over marital.
Okay, my last question to you. California is in news very much recently because of fires. What has led to such devastation?
So it has three major reasons. The first is the last 2 years, California has seen a very wet rainy season. So there was a growth of lush green vegetables, and this year we have seen that there has been very slight rainfall. So those lush greeny vegetation has served as a fodder for the fire. The other are the Santa Ana winds that have been flowing from the Great Basin to the Sierra Nevada, and it has intensified, and this has led to the fueling of the fire. And the other is the power cables.
Okay, thank you.
Creating power cables.
Shambhavi,
Yes, sir.
your dev shows you have been a good leader throughout.
Yes.
What need to be a good administrator?
So first of all, what I can think of a good administration should uphold the qualities of selflessness, honesty, integrity, objectivity, and accountability and transparency. And he or she should also have the quality of a leader.
Okay. See, economic growth will be incomplete without the social transformation of women. Explain it.
So we cannot have economic growth and an economic growing country if we do not have nearly half of the population living under the burdens of the societal sanctions. So first of all, we have to, the various freedom fighters of our country have also said that the women contribution to the freedom struggle as well as to the overall growth of the nation cannot be discounted. And this can be done by promoting the labor force participation, the economic participation, and the political representation of the women across all fields throughout the nation.
So there are two terms, women empowerment and being feminism. What you favor most and what you want to be?
Sir, I don't think so that there is a if or option between. So I would prefer women empowerment, and I'm also a feminist.
Okay. See, child labor is a twin term in which child denotes innocency and all that. Labor means hard work. So what kind of relation you are seeing in terms of Child Labor Act?
So Child Labor Act has been working very hard to arrest the growth of the child labor. And though there are some clauses under the Act through which child labor is allowed, but that is not typically labor. It is allowed in the audiovisual industry and also in the family enterprises. But it has also reduced the it has banned the working of child under any establishment under the age of 14 years. Moreover, 14 to 18 years, it also provides limitations on the establishments that the child can work in, and this is done by the executive notification. It also establishes a welfare fund, and the workers employing child labor, they have to submit a certain amount, deposit a certain amount after facing the penalties of prison and a fine into the child welfare fund, and that fund is used for the overall development and well-being of the child.
Okay.
So, welcome Shambhavi. So, you're from Udham Singh Nagar, right? Can you tell me something about Sardar Udham Singh? Who was he?
And Sardar Udham Singh was a revolutionary freedom fighter of our country, and he was the one he was a migrant laborer. First of all, he traveled across the whole globe, and he was associated with the Ghadar movement in the 1920s. Later, he formed his own Azad party, and he is most importantly remembered for avenging the Jallianwala Bagh massacre that happened in 1919 by assassinating the Lieutenant General Michael O'Dwyer in United Kingdom itself.
Absolutely, that's great. Thank you. What do you know about One Nation, One Subscription?
Ma'am, One Nation, One Subscription that has been promoted in order to promote the research and development activity across the universities, college of the country. It provides a certain sort of fees that the submission of which would help all the universities to get access to the research paper right from the Indian landscape to that of the global landscape. This would promote the scientific and the curious developmental mindset of the researchers and the students engaged in the research activity.
Absolutely. So, India has recently announced something called an Akhand Bharat event. Can you tell me something about it?
Sorry, ma'am, I have not heard of that.
Okay, so it's an event that India is organizing, especially IMD, the Indian Meteorological Department is organizing, and our neighbors have been invited because IMD helps all of these neighbors managing cyclones and other things. You can read up on it.
Yes,
it was in the news
ma'am.
yesterday. So I can see that you have done a lot of work in NSS.
Yes, ma'am.
What inspired you to join NSS?
Ma'am, I was an active participant of NSS right from my school itself. My mother, she is an assistant professor, and she has been the team unit leader, the faculty leader of her unit. So that inspired me to join the NSS. And right from school, I entered into the B certificate of NSS, and thereafter in college, I attended various activities, right from blood donation to sanitation campaigns, and we had a 7-day camp at the university center also.
So if I were to ask you to choose one particular activity or one particular charity, if I am to say, from NSS, what is that one particular activity that you would choose that you love doing?
Ma'am, I would say that the one particular activity that I have done would be the blood donation campaign, because one blood saves many lives, and this is the highest form of donation that any person can do to the society.
Absolutely. That's it. Thank you.
Shambhavi, do you read newspapers?
Yes, sir, I read, but I have been traveling today from my place.
Today's
itself.
newspaper you have not read, but I have read today's newspaper, and there is a very interesting news clipping that one of the lady DIG officers, lady officers of the rank of DIG, she was addressing girl children of a school, and there she advised teenager students about how to conceive bright children. Ojaswi bache, how to conceive. And she gave some some guidelines also, like avoid contraception on a full moon day. Then she says, the bow before the sun and offer water to get Ojaswi son or daughter. Now, as a student of anthropology and sociology, how do you look at the entire incident?
Sir, I don't think so that it has any sort of scientific evidence behind the claims that the ma'am is making. Apart from that, anthropologically, there have been the cultural practices, like in the Arunta tribe of Australia, they believe that they conceive not by the biological reproduction, but by the act of God. So these are one of the totems and the practices that they believe in. But in the mainstream society, after having so much scientific and technological upgradation and invention in the same field, I don't think so these are the valid claims, that these are the claims that one should make.
Okay, thank you very much, Shambhavi. It was nice interacting with you. Your interview is over. You may go now.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Have a great day ahead. Thank you. Sir, may I come in?
Yes, come in. Sit down, Shambhavi.
Thank you, sir.
Finish your interview. When is your interview?
So it is on 21 January
21.
2025.
Which attempt is this, Shambhavi?
So it is the third attempt.
And first interview.
First means first interview.
First interview. Good. So how was your experience with us today?
So I have seen you all in YouTube videos only. This time, first time I was interacting with you, so it was very nice.
What your performance? Forget about us. About us. What
Yes,
your
sir.
performance?
So there were few questions that I was not having the knowledge about, like the Akhand Bharat question that ma'am asked and the Conservation Act that sir asked. And apart from that, there are certain additions that I should do in the content to make it more data-based.
So the best thing in you, Shambhavi, is that wherever you were in doubt, wherever you did not know, you are candid enough to admit, I am not aware. I don't know. You see, it's a test of your personality. It's not a test of your knowledge. Knowledge has already been tested. So how you react to such questions, the board will see while you answer to the questions, whether you are honest to yourself or not, where integrity or honesty of purpose is there in all your statement or not. That is very important. Your personal integrity, honesty of purpose should not be compromised at any level, and you did not compromise. That's the best part in your personality, and you should maintain that. And your knowledge base is also very strong. We try to ask you questions on variety of issues, and we are forthcoming on each and every issue, giving very balanced point of view. That is how it should be. You maintain that also. Then you engaged in a very animated discussion also, which was very lively and which was liking by all the members. So that will make your presence felt by the board very clearly, and in the process you will be getting fantastic marks. We have no doubt about it. Just maintain your personal integrity, honesty of purpose in your statements, balanced point of view. Be a patient listener to the questions. Try to understand intent of the question. Collect your thoughts for a while, and then you speak. And then, as I said, that wherever you are in doubt, don't attempt. Admit that I am not aware. You are not supposed to be knowing everything. And then your communication skill is very good. Your body language is very positive, and your face is also very smiling. So all those qualities are there, which will take you to greater heights while you will be performing. Now, what questions will be asked, nobody can guess, and nobody can tell you also. But certain things are expected that on certain issues, some questions will be asked. Your degree you have acquired in electrical engineering. So even if you have taken anthropology as your optional subject, maybe out of interest or convenience, whatever it is, but don't forget that you continue to be an electrical engineer. So questions on electrical issues will definitely be. Maybe it may be confined to your state of Uttarakhand, or maybe larger pan-India issues may be discussed. We try to just touch upon very few issues, but make out a detailed note on that, particularly keeping in view the renewable sources of energy, and the country is targeting to get net zero by 2071 and all that. What is the National Hydrogen Mission? What is coal still constitutes 70% of our energy demand, isn't it? So do you think that there is a retirement date for coal in our country? If so, yes. And how? If no, why not? So that is a specific question related to coal, and related your climate change issues, your energy demand. I think you must be aware what is the energy demand of the country today. And if the energy demand of the country, if I'm not mistaken, peak demand is 250 gigawatts, isn't it? So 250 gigawatts, it has increased by a certain percentage, 7 or 8% over the previous year. And there is a targeted demand of by 26, 28. So you have all those figures. So, but then our demand is increasing. We are experiencing steady growth, development, urbanization, your climate related issues, and so on and so forth. So looking at the entire perspective, what is going to be the future scenario of the country? And in that, your carbon trading, carbon emission, and all those issues may come into play. So just prepare that very clearly. Energy security and the independence you have explained, and all that. So some technical terms, electric vehicles, innovations, why in electrical engineering or field, R&D is not happening. Why we are not investing enough money on the R&D and all that? So about the grid, how our grid system works, in that your PM Surya Ghar Yojana, isn't it?
Yes.
That is very important. What is its relevance and what is the scheme per se? So the points related to the scheme, and then the surplus is generated is
On grid. Yes, sir.
through the grid. So how do the grid system works in our country? And what do you mean by smart grid?
Yes.
That is another issue. So that you should prepare, and that is one part of it. As you yourself mentioned, that Forest Conservation Act, Amendment Act.
Yes, sir.
Just read it again, because you are coming from such a state where it is very important.
Yes.
Then otherwise, discom issues we have already discussed with you, and the issue of freebies, the free electric supply,
Yes.
how it is hampering the discoms. It is hampering because discoms need payment.
Yes,
Whether government gives it free to its citizens or not, that is the government's problem. It is not their problem. But how it is become their problem, that you have to pinpoint. Then on another thing is anthropology. Anthropology, we try to ask you questions. What questions? Again, same thing. But some anthropologists' name you must be familiar with, their contributions in the Indian context. And globally speaking, somebody will ask you about what is Lucy's significance, why it is important, and such kind of questions. You should be, you must be knowing. The last question which I asked you, it must have come as a surprise to you, because sometimes some questions like that springs up.
Yes, sir.
So you have to prepare to face such kind of surprising questions.
Yes, sir.
Isn't it? It was just a surprising question, just to see how you react to such unfamiliar situations and all that. Your reaction was very wonderful. Your response was very good. So we don't find any fault in your today's interactions with us. It has gone very smoothly, and you have answered all questions effortlessly. And we have no doubt in our minds that you will be getting very good marks in the interview part of it. If you have done really well in your mains examination, no reason for you to worry anything. You will be definitely in the list of successful candidates. Women-centric issues and all that, just give very balanced views on whatever it is, and in minimum words, very crisp. Okay. If you have any questions in your mind, feel free to ask. Otherwise, all the best to you.
It was fine, sir. The posture and all sitting.
Posture is good. I hope you are not going in this coat and all that.
Sir, I'll be wearing a blazer, just a normal blazer.
Normal blazer, that is okay. Normal blazer is okay. Otherwise, there also, if you want, you can go in sari also, because it won't be cold inside a Dholpur house.
Yes.
So I don't think that will also be required, but it's your choice. But this coat you should not.
Yes, sir, I'll avoid this.
More of an informal coat. So go with a coat if you so feel. Otherwise, sari is good enough. Any other question?
Sir, at the last, I said that have a great day ahead. I was just practicing it for the first time. I said it. Should I say it or just leave it?
It's very difficult, because you see, at the people sitting this side, they immediately come to know it's a very tutored kind of statement. Have a great day, good morning, panel members and illustrious members and all that. I don't think this is required. Just be your natural self. Good morning, sirs. Good morning, ma'am. Good day. Thank you, sirs. That's it. Okay. If you ask me, that is my personal view. Yes, otherwise, UPSC, everybody knows that these candidates, they go for mock interviews and all that, and they unlearn so many things. Yes. So in the process, don't try to make it mechanical. Try to make it more natural. That is always better, and that will always fetch you good marks, and you will be leaving a good impression also behind.
Yes.
Okay. All the best to you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.